What's up everybody, Braden here with SuperATV, and today we're going to be showing you how to install SuperATV's soft cab enclosure on this Kawasaki Teryx 4. So let's get right to it. So the first thing you're gonna do is go ahead and remove your roof if you have one equipped on your machine. And then we're gonna go through and fully clean all of the mounting surfaces for the soft cab enclosure. So we're gonna take our mixture of 75-25 rubbing alcohol and water, go through and we're gonna clean the cage. We're gonna spray it down really good. As well as the tops of the doors. Once we've got our mixture on everything, we're going to go through and wipe it all down really good. Then we're going to repeat this process 2 more times. So now we're going to grab our hook and loop fastener and we're going to apply it to our cage. So we're going to start right here on this front section. We're going to run it all the way up and all the way back this top tube of the cage. We're going to grab it. We're going to start right here. And you'll notice once you start to apply this to this tube, there's going to be a few spots that it's not going to want to lay down perfectly. Once we get it all the way ran to the back, we'll come back through and I will show you what you need to do whenever you get to that point. And like we have a power flip windshield installed on this machine. So we have some clamps here and we also have a portion of the windshield. So we have a pair of scissors. What we're gonna do, once we get to this point here, just go ahead and cut our hook and loop off and then tuck this down. And we'll leave this for just a second. We'll come back through and make sure we get it fully seated. So we're just gonna pick right back up right here on top of our windshield and route it down the cage. And just continue following the profile of the cage. So lay it right here on top. And just start working the hook and loop down the cage. And it's not always gonna lay flat. As you can see, we have a little bit of a wrinkle here, but I have a trick to show you after we get it all applied. And then usually about this point here, I grab my scissors and cut it off. So now we're going to take a piece and lay it right here in this section. Usually what I like to do is kind of eyeball out how much we need, then grab my scissors and just go ahead and cut a piece. Scissors. Now we have just our small piece that we need for this section. Just apply it to this section here. The reason we do that is it's kind of hard to make this bend with the hook and loop fastener. Now we have more of a straight shot down. So now we're just going to take our hook and loop and we're going to apply it from here down to this point here. Then once we get to this point here, we'll just go ahead and cut it off. We're going to work any of the kinks out and just make sure that we get this fully adhered to the cage. So right here we have a little section that's not going to lay down flat because we have this factory mount. What I like to do is take my scissors or, you know, a razor blade, whatever you want to use here, and just notch it. Just notch on both sides of this bracket. And when we do that, it allows the fastener to lay down flush on both sides. We're just going from top to bottom. We're going back and forth, and we're just making sure, like I said, it's fully adhered. We're just going to start working our way from the back to the front. So in these little spots here, you can try to kind of fold the hook and loop up as you go to try to work out all these little kinks. But sometimes you just cannot get them all out. You just gotta try to push them all down the best that you possibly can. Sometimes if you hold down on them, they'll adhere a little better. As you can see, we had all those through here, kind of working them out there. And we're just gonna continue doing that all the way to the front. So now we're gonna take our hook and loop fastener and we're gonna apply it from here all the way down to here. So again, we're at one of those spots where we can't really make this bend. So what we're gonna do is just take our scissors, cut it off right here, and then run it the rest of the way down. Once we get here, we'll just cut it off. So now we're just gonna go through and make sure we get our hook and loop to lay down good, just like we did previously. And now it's time to get our soft cab installed to our machine. So now we're going to take the rear portion of our soft cab and get it installed to the machine. And as you're putting this up here, you will have to maneuver it around. We'll probably have it on and off here a few different times until we get it in the correct position of where we like it. And also there's these tabs here, these straps. You want to make sure you lay this side underneath the tube. So what we're doing is we're getting it to where it aligns correctly, and then I like to pull it back off and pull quite a bit of tension on it, get it lined up. We want this window here to be as tight as possible. You're gonna have a little bit of play in it, but I like to get it to where it has the least amount possible. And the way you do that is just keep getting the line, making sure it's laying how it's supposed to be laying, and coming back through and really stretching it over the cage onto our hook and loop fastener. So now we have our rear section pulled tight in all our different locations here. As you can see, there's a little bit of wrinkles in the soft cab window. As soon as the sun gets it, it's gonna go right away. There's no need to take a heat gun to it or anything of that nature. So now what we're gonna do is grab the front portion and get it installed. So now what we're gonna do is take this portion of the soft cab and work it in just like we did the rear portion. So what we're checking for here is we want to make sure that our snaps are going to lay out in a location where we can get them snapped. You want a good flat surface. You don't want to put a snap in up here. So what I'm checking is when I pull this cab enclosure down, if I'll have a good area to snap. And it looks like we're going to be in good shape there. Right there is going to be good. And then the rest of these locations will work out just fine. So we're just taking the strap, we're gonna tuck it down underneath the tube, just like we did in the rear. Go through and make sure all of them are oriented that way. And then just give them one final cinch down. Make sure everything's good and tight. So another thing right here. So we have this powered flip windshield on this machine. Obviously this piece right here isn't gonna lay down all the way underneath the windshield. You can kind of take and tuck it underneath there if you'd like. If you can't get it tucked underneath, what you could do is you could trim what you don't need off of here just so it has a nice clean look to it. On this one, what we're probably gonna end up doing is pulling this back and just trying to wiggle it up underneath the windshield the best we can. I have a soft tipped pry bar. I'm probably gonna take that and just kind of work it in underneath of this bulb seal. So as you can see, all we did there, just slid it up underneath this seal. So now what we're gonna do is mark our snaps to our door. I like to use a paint marker. You can use a regular marker, lipstick, whatever you prefer. What we're gonna do is roll our snap up to where it's visible and then take a paint marker and just color all the way around the snap itself. I like to get a good little amount of paint on there. So it'll look just like that. And you don't want to let it dry. So then you'll pull down. Once you pull down, press straight in. It'll leave a perfect mark. So we're just going to line the tip of the screw up right in the center. And then just thread it right into the door. That. We'll take and we'll snap our cab enclosure down to it. And then we'll just continue working down through here. So we'll just flip this flap up, mark this snap, and press in, firm press, hold it, flip it up, and just get it back out of our way. Just like that. Line it up directly in the center, push in, and just thread it right into the door. Snap it on. And we're just going to continue this process. So now we're going to continue on to the front. Once we come to the front portion of the enclosure, I like to make sure I start with these very front 2 snaps. These are the ones that are the hardest to get installed, so that's why I like to start with them. And then firmly press in. Down. Now we're going to continue the same process for the rest of our snaps. So now, right here at this bottom section where these cab enclosures come together, we're going to make sure we take our strap, route it around the tube. And this part can be a little tricky. All we're doing is just grabbing our strap, and we're going to wrap it around the tube, pull it tight, and then fasten it back to itself. Zip our door back up, latch it. Now we're just going to go through, make sure that our enclosure fits nice and tight. As you can see, there's quite a bit of tension on this. It's not loose, it's not going to flap around. If it was a little loose, all you'd have to do is lift up, remove your hook and loop, pull it down tight and really stretch it onto the machine now that we have all our snaps installed. You do want to go through and hook up all of these. Like I said earlier, they just go right around the tubes on the cage. It's very nice and easy. We can demonstrate one here for you. So it'll kind of loop around the cage. You'll run your strap through. Once you've looped it through, just pull it back tight. And you'll want to continue doing that for the rest of the straps on the machine. So when you have your flap hanging down like this, what you're going to do is just roll it and just continue to roll it up and then refasten it to itself so that way it's not visible from the outside. When you get in your machine, grab a hold of your window, zip it closed. So when you're ready to ride, that's all you have to do is zip it up. If you're ready to get out, just grab your zipper, pull up on it, unzip it, and let it flop out. Grab your door handle, and get out of the machine. And then if you'd like to store it, that's what this flap is up here for. So you just roll it up, tuck it in that flap, and then it actually snaps on the outside. So take it off the hook and loop fastener. We could roll our windshield up and snap it on just like so. Now you're just gonna repeat all these same steps on the opposite side. Once you've done that, that's all there is to it to install SuperATV's soft cab enclosure on this Kawasaki Teryx 4. Be sure to check the description below to pick yours up today, and while you're there, drop a like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.